tripping over themselves for the photo opportunity, a three-way handshake for peace. Ever since Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, the UAE and Egypt cut off ties abruptly with Qatar, claiming it's sponsors of terrorism, several nations have offered to mediate between the feuding Gulf states. But it's the unlikeliest lineup who they are, and do they really qualify to smoke shishas of peace in the Gulf? Senior foreign editor for WION, Padma Rao, has the story.
Ever since Gulf states Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, UAE and the North African country Egypt shut their doors to the richest oil nation on earth, Qatar, alleging that it supports terrorism, a motley crew of global players are tearing to the Gulf to mediate. But how qualified are these peacemakers whose hearts seemingly hemorrhage for Gulf unity? Interlocutors or more like circling vultures? Take Kuwait. WikiLeaks cables have referred to Kuwait as the source of funds and a key transit point for Al-Qaeda and other terror groups. Kuwait has swooped down against activities on its own soil, but shown little concern against Kuwaiti funders and terror mediators outside its own territory. The United States designated the Revival of Islamic Heritage Society, a so-called charity, a terrorist group because it funded the Al-Qaeda and also the Lashkar-e-Taiba, whose favorite target is India. Kuwait hasn't blinked, and yet Kuwait sees itself as the ideal intermediary to lead errant Qatar back into the fold of the righteous. Since the day he entered office, France's President Emmanuel Macron has made it obvious that he intends to position France as the one European counter to the mighty United States in the global arena. He is now walking the talk by arriving in Morocco to forge a North African coalition with the goal of uniting the squabbling Gulf states. But who divided and ruled and plundered much of North Africa, particularly Morocco, Tunisia and Algeria? Mais bien sûr, it was France, of course. An honest broker? Far from it. That US President Donald J. Trump gave old ally Saudi Arabia $110 billion and old ally Qatar 36 F-15 jets worth $12 billion respectively is no secret. Small inconvenience that Saudi is not on talking terms with Qatar. From anti-Assad rebels, today the Islamic State, to anti-Soviet rebels who later matured into the Taliban and the Al-Qaeda, the list of terrorists backed by the United States is too long to accommodate in anything less than a comprehensive encyclopedia. The United States offering hookahs of peace in the Qatar crisis? Yeah, right. But for India, the mother of all surprises is Pakistan's offer of itself as an honest broker in the Qatar crisis. Yes, Pakistan, in whose army cantonment international terrorist Osama bin Laden watched TV while his wives chatted with vegetable vendors at the front door. Pakistan, which arms, supports, trains and infiltrates terror groups Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, Lashkar-e-Jhangvi into India and Afghanistan. Pakistan, which was supported by many Gulf states in its 26/11 terror attack in Mumbai. Pakistan as middleman, as credible as the sun rising in the west tomorrow. Padma Rao, WION.